Welcome back to another edition of Calculus Corner. In this episode, we'll be going over at what point on the parabola y equals 3x squared plus 2x is the tangent line parallel to the line y equals 10x minus 2. Now, our first step in trying to solve this problem is we have to ask ourselves, what do we need from the tangent line? Well, this is the equation for a tangent line, y equals mx plus b. M is the slope, b is the y-intercept. This question asks for us to find a point on the parabola that has a tangent line parallel to this line. For something to be parallel, what do we need? For a point on this parabola to be parallel to this line, all we need to worry about is the slope, right? This y-intercept really doesn't matter for us right now. You may have noticed by now that the equation for our line looks very similar to the equation we need for a tangent line. And this is important because we can easily tell that the slope for this original line is 10 because it's in the place of that m. Now that we know the slope, this equation becomes much easier to solve because all we need to do is plug this 10 into our parabola equation. We need to find out where on this parabola our slope is 10. That way the tangent lines can be parallel. In our original equation, there's nowhere we can plug our slope into. What we need to do is take the derivative of that original equation, and now we can plug the 10 in for y prime, because that's what the derivative equation tells us. It tells us the slope of the graph. When we plug 10 in for y prime, that'll tell us the x value at which we have a tangent line that is 10, which will be parallel to our original line. Now, once we plug that 10 in, solving this just becomes simple algebra. All we got to do is isolate this x. So we subtract 2 from both sides. That gives us 8 equals 6x. We divide both sides by 6. That'll get this x all by itself, leaving us with 8 over 6 equals x, which can be simplified to 4 over 3 equals x, because both of those numbers are even. Now we're at a point where you might be thinking, are we done with this equation? Sadly, no. Because all we have is the x value at which this slope happens. What we also need is the y value, because it originally asked for a point. And a point always consists of an x and a y value. But to find this y, it'll be really easy. All we do is plug this x value into our original equation, and that'll tell us where the y value is. To solve it from here, we just plug 4/3 in for both of those x values, and then we just do the algebra from here. 3 times 4/3 squared plus 2 times 4/3. That'll leave us with 3 times 16 over 9 plus 8 over 3. Now, I simplified 3 times 16 over 9 to 16 over 3 because the 3 and one of the 3's from the 9 cancels out, because you can also think of that as just a 3 times 3. And once we can think of it like that, cross those 3's out, we get 16 over 3 plus 8 over 3, which is y equals 24/3. And now we finally have all the information we need to answer our question. Now we know that the slope of 10 happens at the point x equals 4/3, y equals 24/3 on this parabola. Since the slope of this is 10, that means it must be parallel to our original line. So our final answer for this problem is the point 4/3, 24/3. Thank you for tuning in to my 4th edition of Calculus Corner. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you have a question you'd like me to go over, leave it in the comments below. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.